Hey screen printers, it's Ryan here at Ryonet, and in this screen printing video we're going to explore what makes Wilflex inks so good. Now I have to admit, I sold against Wilflex inks for 12 years, but I never really printed with them and did a side-by-side comparison until we were in the discovery phase of this project. I was literally blown away. The results of the Wilflex compared to the lower cost, obviously lower performing inks that we were pushing into the market were incredible. When selling against Wilflex, we always gained interest because we were a little bit cheaper. But obviously they're a little bit more expensive for a reason. This video explores how with more expensive, higher performing Wilflex ink, you can actually achieve better results on press, use less product, and overall get happier customers and better margins. And it is my opinion because we have experience selling against Wilflex products for over 12 years. And even though our inks were cheaper, we never got good market penetration because shop owners that used Wilflex inks knew better quality, higher performing, a little bit more expensive ink was worth it to their bottom line and their customers. This video will explore the Wilflex ROI, typically known as return on investment, but in this video, ROI stands for return on ink. First, let's take a look at actual costs of a screen printing shop. If you're looking at a P&L, profit and loss statement, or budget of a screen printing shop, you can see what costs an average shop is going to use over the course of a month. Number one cost is always garments. Number two is typically labor associated with overhead. 3, facilities and overhead. 4, equipment and financing if applicable. And 5 is your consumables. Now in that consumable spend, ink is typically half or more of it. Now overall, that consumable spend is literally 1 percentage point of your entire shop expense. And since it's so small, if you look at your consumable spend smarter, maybe spend a little bit more on consumables that will decrease your labor, decrease your garment waste, your shop is going to be more profitable at the end of it. Now, we interviewed 5 shops, comparison and contrast, shops that use other inks and shops that now use Wilflex inks, and asked different points of how their previous ink performed to their current inks and what ROI they're getting out of it. The first comparison point is how well does the ink stay in the bucket. An ink that lasts longer in the bucket means that you can buy it in bulk, and whenever you buy in bulk, you save money. You find that Wilflex typically lasts a lot longer in the bucket. Here are 2 low bleed whites that we tested before switching brands. This is a Wilflex white that we tested, made 1/16 or 1/18, 2016. And here's another brand X competitive white that we tested. This was made 1/31, so actually this is slightly newer. Now I haven't tested these since they're literally made. You can see Wilflex, the properties, yeah, it's a little thicker, but the properties are still nice and creamy there. Bring it back up. Flow is still nice. Brand X. Not bad, but you can see it's much chunkier. It doesn't flow as well. And then pulling from the sides here, you can see it's kind of cottage cheesy. Because second we asked is how often do you have to modify or reduce the ink? Old ink that doesn't stay good in the bucket needs to be reduced, modified, or modulated before going into production. This could take a lot of time. If you spend 5 to 10 minutes modulating your ink before printing versus printing shirts, that could be $10 to $50 of profit that you're throwing away. Plus, if you're having to add modifiers into it like reducers or additives to get it flowing again, that is also additional money. Next, we asked about color. How accurate is the mixing capabilities of the software that you're using and how easy is it to use? When mixing color, take a time illustration and multiply it by 3 to 4 times. It's a nightmare to have to remix, wait, remix to get your colors accurate. And that can take up to hours, not including the wasted ink that you spent getting to bad product. Our users found the Wilflex Rio system to be more accurate, consistent, with less waste of product than previous systems. Next, we went to on-press performance. We asked how easy is it to maintain ink on your press? How often do you have to scrape the sides? Does it roll up on your squeegee or does it stay down in the screen? The bottom line is that you win when your press is printing, not when you have to stop it to scrape ink or hire somebody to manage ink on press. As you can see, Wilflex ink is notorious for staying down in the press, not rolling up on the sides or on the squeegee, meaning that you have to manage it a lot less, meaning less downtime and more profitability per print. Next, we ask when you're printing, how fast are you able to print with a squeegee speed? Take white ink for instance. Most shops take white ink and slow it down, printing with a slower squeegee speed, which obviously is slower production. We actually recommend higher squeegee speeds with Wilflex Lava Perfect Low Bleed White. Faster speeds mean faster production, more profitability, with less print strokes. And speaking of print strokes, how many strokes do you have to do on the ink in order to clear the mesh? Because Wilflex has great thixotropic properties, it clears the mesh extremely well, meaning less print strokes. If you cut your print strokes down by 2 in a job, you're saving half as much in ink, even though it costs a little bit more. After you're done printing, we asked, how does it flash? Ink that flashes longer uses more electricity and energy and slows down production. Wilflex flashes extremely fast and keeps the palettes cooler, causing for less screen problems and faster production. Finally, we asked, how's the fiber mat down, especially on lower quality garments? Because Wilflex ink has a higher thixotropic property and better fluid momentum that leaves the screen faster, matting down fibers better with still great opacity. The tell-all is, what do your customers think of the 2 prints? Wilflex has a softer hand and feel, and typically you use less ink on the shirt, which also makes it a softer hand and feel, meaning that your customers typically will like a softer, just as bright shirt better than a thicker, heavier printed shirt. I'd recommend doing your own ROI test on the Wilflex products and see why these 5 shops and thousands of more choose Wilflex as their primary ink brand. Check it out on screenprinting.com, and thanks a lot for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great screen printing videos.